Hey, what is up, my fellow patriots? How y'all doing out there in the home of the free, land of the brave called America? Hope everyone's doing well. I'm sorry I haven't been on here with many videos lately. It's me, the Wicked Wizard. I've been having some pretty bad health issues. I'm trying to work through them, and hopefully I'll be back making more videos like I was in the past. But anyway, in the meantime, I just want to jump on here and just do a real quick video. First of all, don't forget to subscribe to my channel here. You can go to twolfmedia.com, and there you can see all my different things: BitChute, YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, Truth, Gab, Parler, Minds. And if anybody can think of any other ones I should be on, please let me know in the comments there. Anyway, today what we want to talk about here is this Arizona. I love how they always got to do this. First of all, this is from overall ground news says that this is a totally left-leaning bias on these reports. I always love it how they always say election denier. Kari Lake sues Arizona election officials. First of all, she's not denying anything. She's saying that some shenanigans had happened that day when over 30% of the machines were down and Republicans vote on voting day. And so there's been, I don't know, 20, 30, 40, 50,000 disenfranchised voters that didn't get their elections counted because of the shenanigans played by Kattie Hobbs, who has been declared the winner. I don't know if it's completely certified yet, but I mean, this woman was in charge of running the election and overseeing these machines and everything. It's just so sad, man. She defeated Republican gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake sued Arizona election officials on Friday to challenge the counting and certification of the November electoral contest and asked to be declared the winner despite lack of evidence of voter fraud. Well, first of all, I don't remember anybody saying anything about voter fraud. What we're talking about is voters being disenfranchised by your lack of ability to run a clear and clean and fair election because the machines were all down. So, of course, all the Democratic votes by mail-in all got counted, but upwards of 50,000 people were turned away. They couldn't wait because the damn machines were down. So nobody's saying voter fraud. Okay, this is a neat trick that they learned in 2022. That if you try to say it that way, then all the big techs will crack down on it, and you can't say that. Just so you know, YouTube's his asshole. I am not saying it has anything to do with voter fraud in this clean, clear election. What I'm saying is that there were a lot of problems with 30% of the tabulation machines being down on election day, right? The suit targets Lake's Democratic opponent, Governor-elect Kattie Hobbs. Yes, she's the Secretary of State and in charge of running the election. How convenient. Currently, Arizona is the second security of state, along with top officials in Maricopa County, according to the filing on Friday. I love the way they're just supposed to go, oh, well, so what? The machines didn't work, and, but it's okay. You're just crazy. Don't be an election denier and all this crap, right? Lake was one of the most high-profile Republican candidates in the midterm elections to embrace former Republican President Donald Trump's, and here he goes again, false claims of voter fraud in 2022. Yeah, well, I don't know how false they are since no court would ever hear the evidence on it, but I saw a lot of shady shit. But of course, 2020 was the most clear election in U.S. history, right? Anyway, she's just wanting it to have a fair playing field. That's all we're asking for these days, right? So let's check it out.
Trampled upon, every Arizonan should be furious, regardless of party. My team has filed one of the strongest election lawsuits in history. Don't let the fake news spin their lies. Read the entire thing for yourself. And then she gives a link to savearizonafund.com. So make sure you write that down and you visit that after this report. Now, on Real America's Voice, she detailed the depth of the lawsuit and said, according to her lawsuit, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal votes counted. Watch. An election lawsuit.
Hundreds of thousands of illegal votes counted.
To overturn the Arizona election results. Beating the deadline, Kari Lake utilized her cunning prowess and legal know-how to file the motion that folks have been asking for. Advance what you believe in and make a difference. Join Kari Lake in this monumental move towards overturning the Arizona election results and make history. I'm Gary Franchi. While you keep up the latest news, tap subscribe and enable your notifications. Arizona gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake isn't backing down to accept the results of the 2022 election in Arizona, which declared...
See that? When you don't back down, first of all, Stacey Abrams still says that she won 2018. Hillary Clinton still says that she won 2016. So you want to talk about election deniers? Seriously, you want to talk about election deniers? 2016, that one was hacked by the Russians, right? 2020 is all completely clear. 2018, Stacey Abrams, that was stolen. So you people are all over the place. Anytime a Democrat doesn't win, they call shenanigans and voter fraud and all this stuff. But if a Republican does it, they're election deniers and evil people and all this nonsense, right? You see how this is working.
Kattie Hobbs as the victor. The political drama continues as Lake filed a major 70-page lawsuit on Friday requesting that either she immediately be named the winner or the entire election be restarted. It's an intriguing move, and there is no doubt that folks are anxious to see how this plays out and who will ultimately emerge victorious in this legal battle.
We definitely, without a doubt, we need a do-over on this election because this is not right. I mean, you can't have 30% of the tabulating machines in Republican areas where the Republicans show up on election day and vote and then have these people turned away. That is not fair. Nobody said that's fraud. We're just saying that's defranchising people's votes. We hear that all the time, don't we, from the Democrats? Like if you have to have a voter ID, that's defranchising the people's votes. Well, when the machines don't work, I think that's a little bit bigger of a problem now, isn't it?
She tweeted, "Our sacred vote was trampled upon. Every Arizonan should be furious, regardless of party. My team has filed one of the strongest election lawsuits in history.
Nice.
Don't let the fake news spin their lies. Read the entire thing for yourself." And then she gives a link to savearizonafund.com. So make sure you write that down and you visit that after this report. Now, on Real America's Voice, she detailed the depth of the lawsuit and said, according to her lawsuit, there were hundreds of thousands of illegal votes counted. Watch.
Hundreds of thousands of illegal votes. Now, you're going to see why that's so important here in a moment.
Morning, 70 pages, our lawsuit. We dropped, we didn't drop it. I'm acting like it's an album. We filed it on Friday, and it is damning. It is damning in detail and evidence in how our elections in Maricopa County were run and here in Arizona. And this is about restoring faith in our elections. We have whistleblowers that we have in our webs.
There are no fakes on no respect in our election system. There are no trust in government. There are no trust in anybody of authority. You've burned those bridges.
On our lawsuit, pardon me, that say 300, just about 300,000 illegal votes.
Okay, 300,000 illegal votes. I'd like to show you something here real quick, if I may. Right, that 17,116. We'll come back to that later.
No chain of custody were run through the system. We believe more than 130,000 votes are possibly have terrible voter verification and shouldn't have been counted. We have whistleblowers who were part of that signature verification who said every day they were churning out tens of thousands of ballots that should not have even been in the system. They had fake or no signatures or scribbles, but they were somehow pushed.
See? Fake ballots, no signatures, scribbles, no verification of signatures. All these things happened under Kattie Hobbs' watch. And then somehow she's declared the winner by 17,116 votes. Yeah. Not adding up very well, is it?
Through by somebody in the verification process. Signature verification and chain of custody are our only security to make sure we're having legal votes counted. We believe there were hundreds of thousands of illegal votes counted, and we believe our lawsuit proves it. Not to mention that one of the biggest and greatest experts when it comes to certification of machines and that type of background says that the only way for this to have happened was through intentional wrongdoing. They did not certify the machines that were used on election day.
Now, not certifying the machines on election day right there should be disqualifying. If you ask me, that's totally disqualifying.
And we had printers that were going down in almost 60% of election day voting centers. We had equipment that was malfunctioning. Now, put it into scale here, 75% of the people voting on election day were voting for me. And if you have 60% of the locations where the equipment's not working, that's a big problem. So what they did is, in areas where the Democrats were voting mail-in ballots, they loosened all of the procedures designed to make sure that was secure, to make sure every vote got through, even the illegal ones. And when it came to election day where our people were voting, they made it almost impossible. And in some cases, they did make it impossible for people to vote. And you know, I forgot to mention, these 25,000 additional votes and ballots, I should call them, ballots that were just found after election day.
Did you hear that? 25,000 excuse me, votes were found after election day. After election day. Now, if you want to come back to over here, where we could show you that she only won by 117,116 votes, right? There's more than a margin of error on this.
25,000 injected into the system. Where did they come from? There's no chain of custody on those. And this is all revealed in our lawsuit. There's so many problems. This is why it's a 70-page lawsuit. We have more than 270 exhibits that we have put down in this lawsuit that we attached to the lawsuit and brought down to the court, and they will be looking through this. These are declarations that people signed under the threat of perjury, and they're willing to put everything on the line to say this is what was going on.
And that's the other thing. And I was watching some of the proceedings there, and citizen after citizen after citizen after citizen got up and told the commissions board under the threat of perjury, because they're under oath. So they give an affidavit, which means that if you could find them lying, they get locked up. And yet they still did it. And that number was more than 17,116.
With the deadline looming, Kari Lake has pulled through in a major way. Supporters of Lake were shocked by the details provided in her 70-page lawsuit, which alleges that up to thousands of illegal votes were counted across Maricopa precincts, and tens of thousands more failed signature verification. Lake is now seeking an official declaration of a win or a rerun of the election from Kattie Hobbs and Stephen Richter, who oversaw the county's election infrastructure.
That's exactly what we need. We need a redo, man. Because check this out, right? Want to see something else? Here you go, right here. Let's kind of do this. Okay. So Arizona election, November 8th, which, by the way, it took them over a week to count these few votes, right? But here, race called, 99% of precincts reporting. It's not even 100% in yet, right? Candidate Kattie Hobbs, projected winner, Democrat Party. 1,287,890 votes, or 50.33% of the vote. Kari Lake, the Republican candidate, had 1,270,774 votes. Once again, that is just a difference of 17,116 votes. And with the outstanding and questionable hundreds of thousands of votes out there, you can't, I don't see how in good conscience anybody could just say that's it. Kattie Hobbs won. She actually forced them to certify, or in some places in Arizona. Otherwise, she was going to file lawsuits against them, and it is just too much. It's always a coincidence. You ever notice how they continue to count votes until they figure out how to get just a fraction of a percentage point just to get a few votes over, and it always comes out in the Democratic favor. It never goes the other way. You ever notice that? And then what they do is they keep counting until they could find or manufacture enough votes to put the Democrats in the lead. So it's total, utter bullshit. Hopefully this stuff needs to stop. We can't go on with this nonsense. So anyway, like I said, I'm glad to be back to do this little video here for you. Please check out my twofmedia.com for all my other channels and all the things I got going on. There'll be a lot more coming shortly. It was a pleasure speaking to y'all this evening. And once again, hope y'all having a good night. Talk to you next time. And until then, peace.